going? Today, I was looking for things to make this week when I came about Tasty's Instagram feed. They posted a recipe of focaccia. I'm gonna look up if I'm pronouncing that right later. But I decided I should give it a try. Now, I think it's relatively easy. At the very least, we should get a kick out of it. Ideally, we would like to learn how to do it correctly, but hey, it'll be fun. So I've got my baker's apron on. Primarily, we will be working with flour, and we will be replicating Tasty's recipe on focaccia. Hopefully, we get to do it right the first time. Wish me luck.
So here you see me arranging my supplies. I made the mistake of leaving that tagliatelle noodles on the right side that actually had nothing to do with the recipe. I didn't have any bread flour because at the time of this video, we were at the height of the coronavirus outbreak. I was lucky enough to have found all-purpose flour to begin with, so that's what I chose to make the recipe with. Initially, what you would have to do is start with a packet of yeast, which is usually 1 tablespoon, 3/4 cup of tepid water, and a tablespoon of honey as food for the yeast. I actually had some leftover flour from my pizza from scratch video, so I decided to use what's left of it. Add a cup of flour to the mix and stir it up so that they're one homogeneous solution. You don't have to vigorously mix yet at this point. All we're doing is allowing the solution to make gluten. Saran wrap is essential in any baking recipe. Luckily, I had some stored up for a day I would need it like this. Let that yeast and flour mix develop some gluten for 30 minutes. You should be able to tell whether the yeast you put in was alive by how it smells after you set it in for a while. This particular time, without even getting close, I could tell it was alive by how it smelled almost like beer.
It kinda did. Oh, I smell.
Add 1 3/4 of water to the solution and the remaining 5 cups of flour to make the dough. It's really important for you not to pat down the flour as you scoop it out of the bag. You mess with accuracy if you do that. Simply get a spoon, or in this case another cup, and run your finger across the mouth of the cup when it's full, and you should have the correct amount. Add 5 tablespoons of olive oil for flavor, along with a tablespoon of kosher salt. Now it's time for the messy part. With your other hand, turn the bowl around, and with the other hand, scoop the wet part of the solution to the dry part and mix them until they look like dough. Spray some flour on your work surface and knead your dough until it becomes springy. Line your bowl with olive oil after kneading as you prepare the dough for the rising process. Let the dough rise for a whole hour. Here, you can see the progression of how the dough rises. After an hour, drench your dough with olive oil to prepare it for the stretching process. Line your pan with olive oil to prevent it from sticking. This should also make it easier for you to take it out of the pan when you are done. Reuse the saran wrap from a while ago to let the dough rest for 20 minutes. Spread the dough in the pan as evenly as you can. Line the top of your dough with olive oil to aid the cooking process. This should make it crispy in the end. Dimple the top of the dough to give it that texture it has classically. This is the part where you become creative with your toppings. You can do simple things like nuts and raisins, which is the traditional way of making focaccia, but today I chose to make it more of an art than traditional, just like how Tasty did theirs. I was trying to create a desert landscape with the sun shining in the back. Set your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit and let the focaccia bake for 20 minutes.
Alright guys, here it is. That's the finished product. First attempt at the focaccia, I would say is successful. Alright, so here we go. A little balsamic vinegar and some olive oil. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. tired. I've been baking the whole day. But finally, the focaccia project is done. I've already ziplocked the rest of the focaccia. Doesn't look like I can share this because COVID is really out there right now. But hey, I guess this will be my snack for a couple of weeks. Oh, and by the way, before I forget,
Focaccia.
apparently I wasn't pronouncing it right. It's pronounced focaccia. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on my next cooking project.